Hey guys, Bowie here, and today we're going to talk about how Miracle fights with Juggernaut. During this game, Miracle held his points until level 3. Juggernaut got a small nerf on the Blade Fury DPS, and while the number might feel small to you, this hero actually struggles now to get kills at level 1 in comparison to before, so sometimes there's not a lot of reason to learn the spell. Miracle is also against one of the most annoying heroes in the game, Sand King. There is a scenario where Burrow Strike plus Lift plus Sandstorm damage plus Fade Bolt deals so much damage that he's forced into learning level 2 ward, so he holds his points. Learning critting lane is never really advised, since sometimes you can miss a last hit because of a random crit, and when Dire decides to be aggressive on him, now, with him being level 3 and the possibility of learning Blade Fury level 2, he gets a kill. He kept his options open and was able to get great results because of it. This play here is even better than the last one. Usually when the enemy offlane pulls like this, the play is quickly killing the camp so that you can drag the creeps and hold equilibrium, and also make it harder for Radiant to deny the creeps like Rubik is doing here. But the thing is, if he goes for the tomato, Miracle is going to 100% not get the creep because of Fade Bolt, or he's going to be forced to Blade Fury for this, which in turn leaves him open to aggression. What he does is ignore the camp, and only when they are low HP, Miracle tries to farm, then baiting Radiant in and securing a kill. This is another kill that Miracle gets in lane. Note that before he goes for the play, he buys a stick. Right now he doesn't have enough mana for spin plus healing ward, so if Radiant TP's heroes there because something goes wrong with the kill and he ends up taking too much time, he might die. At the same time, note that he boops the Rubik before getting the stick to wear him down. He doesn't randomly initiate asking CM to use the spell so he spins. He uses the fact that Sand King was forced to Burrow Strike for a crit to go in, while he cuts a tree to gap close and kill Rubik. This is usually the easiest way to get a kill, using the fact that your opponents are using spells rather than just diving aimlessly. Radiant tries to engage on the Juggernaut, and because of the magic one, he can not only withstand the damage from their aggression, but get another kill whilst getting level 6. Note though, that Sand King is a hero that pushes lanes really fast and pressures the tower, and while most players would be okay with shrining and losing 15% of their tower HP and maybe missing a creep wave worth of experience, what he does to make sure he gets as much experience as possible while defending the tower is learning Healing Ward level 2 and skipping his ult. He doesn't have a lot of mana anyway, so it's not like the ult's gonna matter. Sand King can also get invisible, making it hard for the ult to do anything. At the end of the day though, Sand King Burrow Strikes to get the Healing Ward, forcing Miracle into a salve, but not into the Shrine, which at the end means he can still lane, and he can kill the Sand King here, and because he got the lane worth of experience, he gets level 7 after the kill, learning Omnislash to crush the Rubik later. This is one of the few deaths Miracle has this game. He gets initiated by Tiny and Lifestealer, spins, and note that he doesn't panic Healing Ward. While he would be able to heal maybe a little bit more by using it as soon as he Blade Fury, the ward is really low move speed after the nerfs, so he wanted to use the fog from the trees here to try and spin his way out of this fight, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. In this other clip, we see Lifestealer posturing really aggressively, showcasing he wants to use this catapult wave to push the tower. This is not a fight exactly, but it's a cool move that Juggernauts do all the time. When there's no BKB piercing ability on the enemy team, you can cut the wave with Blade Fury while you TP away to safety. Thanks to his Mjolnir, he kills everything but the catapult, and now he can Shrine, keep farming, a small play with immense results, since Lifestealer now has to tank the tower to protect the catapult and Dire has Glyph, resulting in a successful defense. The time Miracle was able to buy with that play makes sure that when they dive the Gyrocopter, his ult is just about to get ready, and by using Blade Fury here, he baits everyone in another perfect fight for him. They Rosh out of this fight, but Radiant did have enough time to contest it. A hasty player that just wanted to get the Rosh and retreat would have maybe used Blade Fury when Tiny engages with Avalanche, but Miracle knows that Sand King is alive and has Burrow Strike, so he keeps it since he might lose the Aegis, so he could just spam as Roshan is about to die if things go south. As he keeps Roshan though, he gets just a glimpse of the Burrow Strike being used, meaning he has no need to use it now. He claims the Aegis without using the spell, and since he saves it, he has a way to kill the Sand King when Radiant tries to chase. As he spins though, he also right-clicks at the same time, meaning he procs the Mjolnir, getting the kill faster. Lifestealer ends up on the Gyrocopter, but that also means Miracle has a lot of time to attack him. He chases later with the Healing Ward on to make sure he's not going to die because of the Radiance damage. And that gives him the ability to jungle while Radiant is... no, he pushes a tier 2 tower. Because of that Healing Ward, when Tiny engages here, he survives with about 153 HP. But it's not over. Since he did not die, he has Omnislash available. Obviously, he doesn't out the Sand King here because he is not a priority target and because he could Sandstorm, but once they are fighting on their side of the map and he knows Sandstorm was already used, he can out. He gets the most underwhelming Omnislash of all time, but even still, they get the Sand King. And even though he has Aegis and more DPS with right clicks, he uses Blade Fury to not get tossed back onto his team to claim another kill. A scared player, or a player that is not as confident as Miracle, would try and top. But if you pay attention, Lifestealer is showing mid, and all of the surprise or burst damage the Radiant has is dead, so even though he's really low in HP, he claims a tower without risking his Aegis. Since he still has Aegis, he threatens high ground as he lays down the Healing Ward, but because of the angle Lifestealer engages, he gets taken down. Because he has Aegis and Lifestealer has him fast, he doesn't ult straight up, because he can buy enough time for another Blade Fury by Omnislashing, using the Aegis duration, and then having the cooldown so he engages with the spell, but know that he is right-clicking even while spinning so he can proc Mjolnir. Unfortunately, the backline suffered and he's forced to get out, but he waits his Blade Fury to be available again so he's 100% sure he's getting out without getting his TP cancel. After all, Radiant has 2 Blink Dagger AoE stun heroes that can blind find him even if by accident. One thing that doesn't get mentioned enough, even in my channel, is the importance of aiding your team in fights. Miracle is farming the jungle since his ult is on cooldown, he has no Aegis anymore and Radiant has a lot of burst damage, so if he shows in lane, he might get bursted. But when he sees that his team is fighting, he instantly runs towards the fight. He might not have his ult available, he's about to finish an item, but he can assist with Healing Ward, he can help disengage. Only by showing, he might make Radiant, consider if they really want to fight, and help people not die. You might think that a support dying is okay, but that means Radiant could force Roshan if it's up, could force a buyback from that support, and if he doesn't have the support, then they might lose barracks even if he has ult when they push. Miracle runs instantly, and because of the Healing Ward, not only Gyro survives, but they get a Q instead. So no one on Dire dies, and he sacrificed, maybe 200 gold for not only saving his mid-hero, but also now controlling this area, meaning he's farming the easiest area for Radiant to be, while they cannot be there. The Sinking Death also allows Miracle to finish the job bottom, but note that he waits Blade Fury to go up the ramp. So by running towards that fight, they kill Sand King, they force Glyph, they stop Radiant from farming, and ultimately they claim a tier 3 tower bottom without losing a thing. Also worth noting that this game is almost dead even. Miracle was not babysat, his other lanes didn't go amazingly well, it's just pure skill and pristine decision making. When they disengage, know that they were trying to get the shrine and the bounty, and if you look at where the heroes are, this is not the best time for them to fight. Crystal Maiden is the only hero there, and while he's really strong and has ult, it's just a bad idea and he disengages while he collects the bounty. Tiny eventually engages on him, and just look at Miracle. The entire game, whenever he Blade Fury TP, he would go to a shrine, to another tower, and in this case, he had Healing Ward, so he could just as easily TP to a shrine instantly, but he felt like he could just spin walk, and TP at this stage of the game is really important, so he wants to save it, and that's feasible because all of the stuns of the heroes that are showing were used. The moment he sees the Sand King, he realizes that this is false, and TP is not to a shrine but to base because he knows his allies just TP top to the shrine and or the tower, he doesn't know exactly, and he risks being stunned before the TP ends. So just godlike. As that happens, Radiant forces a fight knowing Miracle TP'd away and he instantly walks up to them. As he realizes the Gyrocopter died, he doesn't disengage immediately to hit creeps. He hides, knowing that Shaker might need cover, but also knowing that Radiant can get baited by seeing another easy target. So as soon as the Sand King initiates with Burrow Strike, he knows he can wear him down without needing to use Blade Fury, making that a free kill that is also worth no risk to him. By the way, Miracle knew Tiny's Shadow Blade was on cooldown because he saw the initiation beforehand, but he was a couple of seconds too late, but at least he gets the Ogre dead. They eventually kill Tiny, they get Roshan because of it, and while Radiant was forcing the tier 3, he spin TPs to make sure he doesn't get stopped, and he defends the mid tower. As that happens, Radiant gets a couple of great kills, allowing him to go high ground and force buybacks. Radiant actually plays this incredibly well. Sand King was set up behind the trees away from any vision way before he went high ground, and Lifestealer then infests the Sand King, barely showing as he goes in through the fog, and because Miracle used the healing ward before, he gets caught off guard. Even still, because of the Greaves from the Nature's Prophet, followed by his magic wand that at 34 minutes is still in his inventory, saves his life, he then gets the Omni Slash off, kills the Ogre, and allows them to get another tier 3 tower. We did mention briefly in another clip the concept of backing your team, disengaging together. Miracle is really low HP, he has healing ward on cooldown, but Gyro has Aegis. He hides in the high ground until the spell gets ready, and then he runs in to help his teammates. After all, he knows Epicenter is down, Ogre has no buyback. And while they lose the Shaker here, he saves Gyro from having to buyback. What if Gyro had no buyback, for instance? Miracle TPing away wouldn't do anything because then his base would be down, and him being alive means nothing, as farmed as he is. Note how he defends his base. He has no buyback, no healing ward, no ult, yet he postures aggressively, banking only on his Blade Fury. The only way he can die here is by being Burrows choked or telekinesis first, but usually in high MMR games like this, they will be far away from the hero that is sieging. Also, the Sand King knows that if he jumps like that without having Epicenter, and with Gyro being alive, he might just die because he's not gonna be able to disengage. After all, they do have True Sight around the tower. Once the Rubik even shows, he spins, defending the base with only 3 heroes. Miracle finds a double damage rune eventually, so Dire smokes, and because he has no vision of the high ground, he ults to make use of the double damage. He gets the weirdest bounces ever, but even still, he ends on the Lifestealer, and as he gets vision of the Sand King ulting, he knows he has to spin, but keeps attacking while Blade Fury proccing the Mjolnir. Lifestealer is forced to buyback, and note how now that Blade Fury is on cooldown, he drops the healing ward as he tries to start sieging. Lifestealer rages to try and defend the base, and the downtime between that spell is his weakness. This is one of the few, if not the only, Blade Fury Miracle uses without really doing damage but to engage, but that's because if Lifestealer dies, the game's over. Lifestealer actually managed to fast his illusion, tries to rage again, but he's no match for Miracle that wins the game right there. Guys, thank you very much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. My Patreon was completely renewed, so if you like this channel and you want to make it a little bit more sustainable, I really suggest you guys check it out. There's a lot of cool rewards there and a lot of new projects that I'm trying to start. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and bye.